Welcome back to Fight Club. Drinks Coach. Vinesack or lowercase Vinesack or Drinks Coach UK about things about this channel. You're watching YouTube. Click on subscribe. Click on the bell. Get the notifications. Become a member. Right, what's happened? Well, it's been a week out of the business because I've been in excruciating teeth pain. Still am. Having a root canal in 2 days, which I'm terrified of. But I just want the pain to go away. Anyway, on other cheerful notes, I've had lots of spirits sent to me over the last couple of months, which I've been kind of ignoring slightly. And it's time for a couple of roundups, I think. Today, I'm going to do a spirits roundup. Then the next show, I think I'll do a roundup on pre-mixed cocktails, canned wine, etc. Things like that. Some fun stuff. But actually, I'm only remember about the quality on this channel, so do come back and watch. You might be surprised. So, 6 spirits or 6 grown-up drinks to try today. Yeah. Well, there's a bit of everything here. It's kind of like my weekly Asda shop. We have gin, we have vodka, we have Pisco, we have Bourbon, we have Scottish Whisky, and we have some random strange shot. Yes, Will says Seth Smith, thank you very much for bringing this to my attention. I did say that I'd only show it if it was any good, and it's brilliant, so I can't wait to talk about this at the end. This is a bit of fun for kind of Halloween period, okay, and Christmas. Really delicious shot at the end there, with endless possibilities, I think. So, what have we got here? We have a gin. I do quite a lot of gin, but there's a lot of gin about, and people do still ask me, "Oh, have you seen any other new gins recently? They're any good?" Well, I have. I am, as I keep on telling people, I am over 50, so I'm not into really, really weird things for the sake of being weird. Innovation for innovation's sake, shall we say? I like things the way they were. I've got to that age. And there's really good gin out there, but people I think are starting to forget what gin felt, smelt and tasted like. There was a shape that all gin had up to a point, and there were all slight variations on a theme. Now gin can be flipping anything. So we're starting with this fella, Savage, particularly dry gin, available to you on Masters of Malt for £29.50. Bumped into a friend of mine. I know you know my passion for Wales if you've been watching recent shows. We're trying to not tell everyone about how beautiful it is up there, but on the north bank of the estuary of the River Dyfi, there's a beautiful place called Aberdyfi, and he lives there. He has a holiday home there, which is just extraordinary. We had a few beers in the beautiful sunshine. I love Mid Wales. Never ever knew that I'd fall in love with it so much, but James is a sympathiser, but also an extremely successful former investment banker and an extremely successful wine merchant. Now, James bought a company from a guy called Peter McKinley, who was a legend. I mean, overused phrase, but he was a legend of the wine industry. He knew every grower by a shake of the hand in Burgundy. He was a great expert in Burgundy, and also imported all sorts of lovely things: Gosset champagne, wonderful Calvados, all sorts of things. And when James bought his company, McKinley Vintners, he bought some spirit brands as well. And this is one of them. Now, what's lovely about this is it's proper gin. It's made by people that, if there's any way you can define expert, are experts in London dry gin, which is the Thames Distillers. Now, if they're not experts in London dry gin, literally no one is. This is a really fantastic gin. It's only got 4 botanicals, and they're the ones that matter. One of my problems with having a gin that you want to stick to, if you're going to have one gin, and people ask me that a lot, have one gin in the house that does everything. What do you need to look for? Well, this gin doesn't have any citrus botanicals in it. It doesn't have lemon in it. It doesn't have bergamot, which is very aromatic. It doesn't have lime. It doesn't have grapefruit, which sends a gin on a trajectory which is very hard to change. It means that you can only use it in certain contexts. Beefeater 24, stunning gin. Can't make an olive martini out of it. Don't even try, because grapefruit and olive together is horrible. I don't know if you noticed that. Try it. It's just not. They just do not work together. Similarly, Beefeater, I think, has some lemon, makes the most amazing gin and tonic, but it makes a fantastic gin and tonic if you use lemon. Not so if you use lime, because it's already got these nuances in the DNA of the drink. Well, Savages has the 4 botanicals that are in Tanqueray, which is my always go-to sort of hyper brand of gin. It was one of the first. They've been making it since the early 1800s, so why not? But this has lots of juniper, good quality juniper. It has lots, very important, coriander seed, which I think is probably the most important flavour in a gin. In fact, when you sniff coriander seed in a distillate, it smells more like gin than juniper does, which is just kind of a weird oiliness. This is 43%, proper strength for a gin, not 37.5, not 40. You can have navy strength of 57 or whatever. Not necessary in a drink like this. So smooth, but very dry. That's the point. Savage's particularly dry gin. What am I going to make with it today? Well, I'm going to make a Foghorn. For those people that know me, this won't be a surprise. For those people who've never seen this drink before, it can be a bit of a shock. But the best transitionary drink from gin and tonics in summer, because let's face it, summer is over. The best drink to drink in winter, if you like gin and tonics, in my opinion, is this one. It's called a Foghorn. Okay, we're going to use half a lime. You don't need to have a whole half. You can just use the rind if you want to. But I like the extra zest in the drink, which actually makes it $1 too. We're going to put in some of this delicious gin. It just smells like gin used to. I love the smell. It reminds me of cleaning up after mum and dad's parties in the summer, and me get something, go, what's that? And I'd open a bottle of whatever gin was on the side. Oh, that's really nice. That's gin, is it? And it just reminds me of the smell of gin when I was like 7. Not that I was drinking it then. It's just what, when you viscerally imprint a thing on your head, and next to it is gin in your brain. This is that gin. Really nice quality. Okay, so we're using a terrific tonic ginger beer here. This is ginger beer from London Essence Company. It's got a beautiful ginger expression, without being too fiery. I really like it. I drink a lot of it. Any gin works in a Foghorn, really. But I prefer to go for your dry, savoury, abrasive, matte-finished London dry gins. They work particularly well. So that's all this is. This is a bottle of ginger beer, large shot of gin, and a squeeze of lime. Why didn't everybody drink that? Why doesn't everybody drink that? I mean, that's better than gin and tonic, frankly. Okay, there we go. That's number one. Coming up next, this was sent to me. This is called Elderwood English Vodka. People who, again, know my background history. I did quite a lot of television with a very, very talented chap called Mike Robinson. Mike Robinson is a crack shot. I could tell you lots of stories about him, but I won't. Most of them are pretty good. But Mike is a Michelin-starred chef now. He started off running a deli. We started doing TV about the same time for the same channel, the UK Food Channel, where he was doing this thing called Chalet Slaves, where we'd go in and cook when chalet chefs hurt their ankles or broke their leg or whatever skiing, and he'd go in and sort of save the day on an emergency number, as a company used to have. And we did a show called Heaven's Kitchen. He bought a pub very close to Bucklebury, posh part of Berkshire, and we converted it into a gastropub, and the programme was called Heaven's Kitchen. Neither Mike nor I chose that name. But we have a long history together, and he's an incredible talent. He's championed the use of the incredible, sustainable and wild resource of venison in this country. There's so many deer. I remember him telling me there was 28,000 wild deer head in Berkshire alone. And we're eating farmed animals in supermarkets wrapped in plastic. It's tragic if you think about it. And he's opened all sorts of places. He has the only Michelin-starred pub in London, called the Harvard Arms, around the back of Stamford Bridge in Chelsea. He has an amazing pub in a hotel in Stratford-upon-Avon, which is famous for its foraging food. It's a big open fireplace. And he's just opened a new restaurant, which I've heard from James, my friend, is absolutely amazing. And it's called Elder, and it's in Bath. And I imagine if it's anything like the things he's done before, his keen eye for how to make a place look, his sense of what's on the pulse and what's not, and his love of just eating delicious food and not fucking around, I think will ensure his success for many, many years to come. He's made an Elderwood gin and an Elderwood vodka. I'm guessing that's to go in his restaurant, Elder. So this isn't mucking around. It's the gin was $29.50, which is, I think, under £30 for a super premium gin. Not a problem. That's kind of the right price I expected. But that's a 70 centilitre bottle. This is half litre. $32.95. Yes, you heard it correctly. $32.95 for half a litre of vodka. Better be good. It's got a lovely vanilla top, which is great, which goes on and comes off a million times. It's lovely, very, very elegant top, well chosen. Much nicer than a cork, I think. So, what's in here? Well, I've been told. Can I see what's in there? Yes. I've been told that there is horseradish in there. Apparently makes an absolute killer Bloody Mary. There's also almond. Now, almond milk or almonds in a distillate creates a flavour which the French will know as orgeat syrup, which is a really creamy. It doesn't smell like amaretto. It doesn't have those kind of cherry stone smells. It's a creamy, milkier quality, and it gives this drink spectacular creaminess and mouthfeel. It's also pot stilled from 100% wheat, where all the super premium vodkas out there, maybe the pinnacle apex predator would be Beluga Goldline, 100% wheat. Because why? They look like a super yacht and they go very well with caviar. I mean, that's really, I think, the truth. So, absolutely fabulous product. If there's such thing as a winter vodka, that's it. I'm drinking this at room temperature and I could go another glass. Absolutely delicious. Well done, Michael. Done it again. Okay, so moving on. This is an interesting drink. I've got another highball here. The ice is starting to melt a little bit, sadly. Doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is probably strain the water off it. The darling, super clever, very pretty Javiera Lorenzi out there. She is the brand ambassador for this. Javiera is a friend of mine from Chile, who's doing a PhD in English here. She's drop dead and really beautiful woman, and super clever and very, very engaging and very positive. And just, if I wanted a brand ambassador for my drink, she'd be the one I'd pick. She's an amazing girl that the entire wine trade, the spirits industry knows. All you bartenders out there watching this show, you know what I'm talking about. Javi, I'm finally doing your drink on my show. Why? The other day, my wife asked me if she could have a drink made from this, and I said no, because I need it for a show. So she said, do a show so I can drink it. So that's why we're doing it. This is Waqar Pisco. Pisco, what's Pisco? Pisco is a distillate made from grapes. The jury's out. Most people agree that Peru is, in fact, where it was invented. No hard feelings, Harry. But most Pisco is industrial stuff, made on a large scale. I think people try and see beauty in industrial Pisco, which isn't there, if I'm fair. I'm just saying, just as the man in the Clapham omnibus riding by, don't try to pick a fight. This is the first boutique producer of Pisco. So this is a spirit, a mar, if you like. It's made from Muscat grapes, from the Tulajuan Valley and the Limerí Valley, which are very high up in Chile. 14 hours drive north of Santiago, if I remember, to Limerí. And you're right on the edge of what is the driest place on earth, which is the Atacama Desert. If you would have seen the show on Ventisquero Chilean wines a couple of weeks back, I mention it. It's an extraordinary place. And they do grow grapes there. How they do, I don't know, because it's just no rain. It sometimes doesn't rain for years, literally 2 or 3 years between rainfalls. But this, as a result, has the most wonderful perfumed fragrance. Most Pisco just smells of petrol, literally. This one smells of strawberries, white peaches, Japanese pears. I could go on. Let's a little taste in my little tasting glass. Waqar Pisco. So this is the same price as the vodka, but again, it's a full bottle. I think $32.95. I think it's sold at Master and Malt as well, and it's $32.95. Is that right? Yes, it is. Oh, it's just so pretty. Now, the drink that you drink if you go to Chile or you go to Peru is the Pisco Sour, which is a wonderful drink, frothed up, alcoholic, has a bit of cardamom in it, has bitters in it, it has egg whites, and it's creamy. And it's a drink that, frankly, just tastes like you're drinking a kind of like a frothy pre-dinner sorbet, and then you have 3 or 4 and you're incapable of speech. This is what Javi said I should do with it. And this is how they want the drink to be served. And I tell you what, this is what my wife wanted to drink the other day. First of all, my own take on this, Javiera. a wedge of Bergamotto. This is bergamot from Calabria. Available, organic bergamots are available in Waitrose right now, which is extraordinary. For those people who don't know, this is a bergamot. For those people that, most people know what bergamot is because they drink Earl Grey tea. And Earl Grey tea has bergamot in it. Did you know it was a citrus fruit? Some of you probably didn't know. And actually, I thought because it's so aromatic, it must have been the flowers of a bergamot. No, it's just the rind. Just the rind of a bergamot is the most beautiful smell. One of the great beautiful smells in culinary life. So I'm just going to squeeze this in. You don't need much. And the juice is very, very sour. So it adds a nice little edge to the drink. But you don't want too much. Oh, the whole room smells like the Glade air fresheners just come on. Okay, so put that in there. Large shot of Pisco. Waqar. How are we doing for time? 15 minutes. All right, I better speed things up a little bit. There we go. What are we going to drink with that? Tonic. So, Pisco and tonic. Piston. This is a Piston. Not too much tonic. I like 1-to-1 actually. It's like drinking lilies. If you like flowers and waxy flowers and the smell of an exotic garden in spring, that's what Pisco and tonic tastes like. Absolutely delicious. My edition of bergamot, I think, pimps it to the max. Bowl. Very nice. Okay, where are we going next? We're going to Lidl. Did you hear that? Yes, you heard that right. It's 40% alcohol. This is called Western Gold. I do not know who makes it. Somebody told me that somebody has a blog who's responsible for blending these whiskies for Lidl. And it's very important, you know, the big German supermarkets. Aldi has a bourbon, a 5-year-old bourbon, an expression, which is very ordinary. It tastes like what you expect £15 whiskey to taste like. It's really dreadful, in fact. Doesn't have much aroma or anything like that. This is just such a find. If you like bourbon and you're a student, stop buying Jim Beam, stop buying Jack Daniels, and buy this instead. Okay, it's £15.49 a bottle. It's 5-year-old. Now, a lot of premium bourbon isn't older than that. And as it's a whiskey, the 5-year-old expression means that nothing in this bottle is younger than 5 years old. It means there's going to be older whiskey in there. Probably not much older, but maybe 6 years old and so forth. Now you're in the territory of buying expensive bourbons. You know, Bullets and things like that are made from whiskies that are 5 or 6 years old. So, what do I have to say about this? I just want to tell you that it's proper bourbon, okay? It just says Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey on the front. I was watching a YouTube review of this by a lad in England. I can't remember his name, but he did a really good job of it. And it got me excited about going out and trying to find it. The nose? Well, the first reaction, and this is something that I like, it's not everyone's favourite, but the mash bill, which is basically what the Americans call the recipe for this drink, smells like it's very rye heavy. That means it's high in rye. It can't be that high in rye, because in order to be called a Kentucky bourbon, it has to be at least 51% corn. But it smells like the rye in this mash bill could be as much as 15%, maybe higher. But I love rye. I love straight rye. It gives it a slightly sour note initially, not a vinegary note, spicy note, which then settles down into dried orange peel, which I really love in whiskey. It's also got a smell of salted caramel, like creme brulee. It's a really kind of makes your sort of like childhood lover of maybe puddings kind of smile inside. It's unbelievably smooth. There's no colouring in it. It's not allowed in a 5-year-old bourbon. The finish is like a chocolate brownie. Now, I'm not saying it's Elijah Craig or something like that. I'm not saying that. It's not one of those 5 or 6 bourbons which I sort of seek out like a treasure hunter. This is just a whiskey on the shelf in Lidl's at $15.49 a bottle, which I think, if you like drinking whiskey and you can't afford expensive whiskey, is the best American whiskey on the market right now. Unbelievably good. I can't say any more than that. Don't buy the 3-year-old, because there's one that's 3-year-old with a white label. I tried that. No, it doesn't work. The 5-year-old, which doesn't seem to be in all stores, but maybe it's only made in small batches. I don't know. Bringing us on to The most prestigious drink here today. Let's have a go at this. A drop of water. This is Moncreiffe Signature Blended Scottish Whisky. Moncreiffe. Moncreiffe is one of the most royal and most prestigious families in Scotland, if not the most prestigious existing family. They owned about half of Scotland back in 1248, and they were given boundless land by the then King of Scotland, Alexander II, in the Dark Ages, basically. And I know it's very hard to try and put this into context, but there's lots of whiskies that come out and you see them and you see blending. Oh, it's another blend, it's another blend. This is Moncreiffe. Moncreiffe is a family to be reckoned with. And Moncreiffe, when people used to come to their estate, would offer them a drink. And back in the 70s, what everyone offered them was a glass of scotch. And what everyone drank then was famous grouse. And famous grouse was at the time a beacon of overachievement, a beacon of what whiskey, blended whiskey, could do. Rain or shine, always the same, made from lots of different malts, between 30 and 40% malt, then made with very old grain, had an age expression of 8 years or older. Fantastic. Now, if you buy famous grouse now and drink it, it tastes like coloured vodka. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be kind to famous grouse, and I've tried to on occasion. But even against things like Bells and Teachers, it doesn't hold its own. It's a brand that's so massively overproduced and is now made from such young spirits. I don't really count it as whiskey at all. The Moncreiffe family both felt the same way, all felt the same way, and said, well, in the 70s and 80s, when I think grouse was bought, they said, well, we're not fans of this anymore. Maybe we should make our own whiskey. During the 80s and 90s, Moncreiffe became a real symbol of luxury in Scotch whisky. And there were other companies like Bailey, Nicol Jarvie, and others, which I used to drink in huge amounts when I was at Oddbins, because it was such fantastic quality for so little money. Very hard to find now. I don't even know it exists. But, yeah, these were all born out of the fact that grouse kind of took a dive. So what have we got here? We've got a proper bottle of scotch. It doesn't say anything on here other than it's got the Moncreiffe name on. That should be enough. That's legal tender. Okay, so what is it? It's got at least 30% malt in here. The age expression is minimum age is 8 years, which is older than most single malt whiskies you will buy in Osterschaft. It's older than Talisker if you buy it. It's older than Bowmore if you buy it. It's properly mature. And there are some things in here which are much older than that. It's probably 2 or 3% 20-year-old older. They also decided they wanted to make it an expression which you could drink. They wanted, it's £50, so it's not mucking about. This isn't Master of Malt. They were trying to make a whiskey which has that kind of light sunshine drinking ability, like premium Japanese whiskey. And I imagine that's probably the market they're aiming for. If you drink premium Suntory whiskies or premium Nikkei or the stuff that has become super collectible now in Japan. One thing they do have, I mean, even Hibiki 17, which is £500 for half a litre, you can drink it down in one. You can drink a whole bottle. It's so smooth and so easy, so sunshiny. I did a drink, Nikkei small batch, when I did the Whiskies of the World earlier this year, and they're just so easy to drink. You can add soda to them, maybe a slice of lemon, which is how most Japanese people drink their whiskey, or just like that, with a threat of water. Blimey, that's good. It's lovely. Super delicate. What does it remind me of? There is a maltiness. There is some Islay in there, but it's only about 5%, which even in a blend of this size is quite big. Loch Lomond. Maybe it tastes a bit... It's got the punch of a Speyside, but it's delicate at the same time. It's racy. The drinkability of a lowland, the fragrance of a Speyside, and the complexity of an island. I mean, that sounds like I'm writing copy, but yeah, I'm really impressed with that. Emma's going to be very pleased when she gets home. Do you like a glass of whiskey, darling? And even my wife will recognise the quality in this drink. Cheers, Moncreiffe. Absolutely amazing. A whiskey I'd never seen before until this week. Bloody good. Okay, right, last one. It's going in here. Going in a Jägermeister shot glass. So Will Seth Smith made this drink. £20.95 a bottle online. Master of Malt again. It's 33% by volume. This is a shot which is black. Is it black? Yeah, it's black. basically black, dark red. And it's made from tequila, cold-pressed coffee, and chili. It doesn't have the heat of chili. If it's a distilled chili, it has the flavour of chili. But I can't wait to make this into an espresso martini, because I like tequila in my espresso martinis anyway. I prefer that to vodka or vanilla. If anything, if I want my espresso martini just to have a little bit of extra, I'll put in half a shot of bourbon. But yeah, what does this taste like? I mean, it's interesting. I tell you, it's people making shots and liqueurs. People in the industry will say, "Oh, that's a bit of a mug's game." You know, you never know, and there's no real category for this. But I'm not going to criticise Will for this, because first of all, it's absolutely delicious. I mean, it really is delicious. Tastes like Nesquik chocolate powder or good cocoa with just a hint of jalapeno, and that lovely taste of cucumbery tequila. It's absolutely delicious. And then there's this taste of the crema of a decent espresso. You know, it's really, really good. I mean, it's really good. You can see, Seth, I've already, Will, I've already made inroads into this bottle. I'll keep the rest for for Halloween night. Absolutely delicious drink. Black Fire, you heard it first. Could be a next Christmas special. I'm not going to give it any more credit than that, because I have brought out a liqueur shot for Christmas, which you'll be hearing about very near future. Available in all stores in Marks and Spencer's from November the 1st. And it's called Reverend Hubert Winter's Gin Liqueur. And you'll be hearing more about that in another show very soon. But anyway, here we go. To recap. Savage's particularly dry gin. Delicious. Maybe the most versatile important drink here. Elderwood vodka. Premium, delicious. Maybe wasted in a Bloody Mary, but I will make one to find out. It's absolutely delicious. Very, very premium. The best Pisco in the world, I think. This is Waqar Pisco. Thank you, Javiera. The cheapest, best whiskey in Britain. Western Gold. Lidl, 15.49. Moncreiffe blended whiskey. Fantastic. If you're Japanese and you're watching this show, buy this, because it's in your style. You're going to love it. Absolutely delicious. Extraordinary whiskey. Delicate, light, fresh, but so much length. You can really taste the age in there. Lots of old whiskey. And then, I've said enough about this. Good luck with it. See you next time.